Tucker Carlson throws all of mainstream media under the bus, including his own network, and admits he spent his life as part of the propaganda control apparatus that helped to deceive viewers into accepting a worldview that was built on lies, including promoting unjust wars, so that the few on the top who deserve our contempt, he says, could paint truth tellers as insane.
I've spent my whole life in the media. My dad was in the media. Like, that is a big part of the revelation that's changed my life, is the media are part of the control apparatus. Like, there's no, yeah, I know, because you're younger and smarter and you're like, yeah. But what if you're me and you spent your whole life in that world, and to look around and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow. Not only are they part of the problem, but I spent most of my life being part of the problem, defending the Iraq war. Like, I actually did that. Can you imagine if you did that?
Well, what do you think? What is one of your biggest regrets in your career?
Oh, defending the Iraq war.
That is it?
Well, I've had a million regrets, not being more skeptical, calling people names when I should have listened to what they were saying. Look, when someone makes a claim, there's only one question that's important at the very beginning, which is the claim true or not? So I say, you committed murder, or you rigged the last election. Before you attack me as a crazy person for saying that, maybe you should explain whether you did it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for too long, I participated in the culture where I was like, anyone who thinks outside these pre-prescribed lanes is crazy, is a conspiracy theorist. And I just really regret that. I'm ashamed that I did that. And partly it was age, partly it was the world that I grew up in. So when you look at me and you're like, yeah, of course they're part of the means of control, I'm like, that's obvious to you because you're 28, but I just didn't see it at all. And I'm ashamed of that.
Isn't that what the media tries to do, though?
It's their only purpose.
Right.
They're not here to inform you. Really? Even on the big things that really matter, like the economy and war and COVID and like things that really matter that will affect you. No, their job is not to inform you. They are working for the small group of people who actually run the world. They're their servants. They're their Praetorian Guard. And we should treat them with maximum contempt because they have earned it.
Welcome back to the High Impact Flicks channel. We've got more coming up for you, so stay tuned.
People ask me all the time, hey Brian, do you really use that Keto Elevate stuff, and does it really work? The answer is yes and yes. Never in my entire life have I lost body fat so quickly. Not even in my prime at 25, which is over 25 years ago. I'm approaching 54 this year. If you want to support the channel and do your health a favor, grab some with my link in the description.
The city of Tulsa passed a resolution declaring the city as welcoming and compassionate to all people, regardless of race, religion, sexual orientation, gender, or disability. Here are some of the responses to this resolution at the city council meeting.
Let's remember that that we are talking about people.
How do people die from not feeling safe? And
Suicide.
so do I feel safe in your Tulsa? And how rude.
That's your
On a gender.
time. Thank you.
May I say that you're very rude in
No.
looking at me like that?
No, you may not. Please sit down.
Resolution needs to be struck. It's very hypocritical, but if I'm laughed at or cheered at, I'll stop and expect my time to pick back up when they're done.
You know, it's my opinion that we don't even need this. I mean, the fact that we even have to have this is disturbing to me at such a guttural level. It's such a dichotomy and paradoxical to me because we should be welcoming and loving and be kind and respectful to everyone.
Word inclusive. This word is inflammatory and it's dangerous to welcome just anything.
We are inclusive already.
To me, the pushback on this is more about people feeling uncomfortable about making space for other people who are different than them, but people who are different are also real.
And I never thought I would imagine that in the year 2023 in Tulsa, in our city, we were going to be talking about Molotov cocktails. A small business in Brookside firebombed. Yes, hate crimes are happening in our city.
Under every single one of these listed classes, I am represented. And all of you are represented. That includes your right to have your own personal worldviews, desires, ways of worship. It does not include the right to dehumanize others. It is not a redundancy because my life is not a redundancy.
Speakers are outraged over a bill that bans minors from receiving sex reassignment procedures, restrict medications, and change custody law.
Hi, I was once a trans youth, and now I'm a happy 22-year-old trans adult student at New College of Florida. This is my health care. Ma'am? Okay. Don't tread on it.
Senator Yarborough has militarized the Florida GOP into the genital Gestapo. Ron DeSantis wants trans people dead. You are committing genocide.
I grew up in Germany in the aftermath of Nazis, and what you people are doing is no different. This is transphobic, it is cruel, and you really should be ashamed.
What you are doing by signing this bill is an act of war. The way it is, as it is now, my people will die. And that blood, if you support this bill, will be on your hands.
I'm 12 years old, I'm non-binary. If you pass this bill, many of us will die. I deserve to live as long as all of you. We are humans too.
When I was 2, I wanted to kill myself. By the time I was 15, I attempted to slice my own breasts off. I went to the ER because I was bleeding out.
I'd also like to implore you all to remember that less than a week ago, gun law restrictions were loosened. And anyone who thinks it's a good idea to come and take my child, I dare you.
Every time that I look at you guys in this committee, I realize more and more that you guys want to commit trans genocide and that our blood is on your hands.
I am the parent of a transgender child who is almost 8 years old, and we are at the beginning of our journey. And what you're doing is taking away life-saving potential opportunity for me and my family.
Every 45 seconds, a trans person makes an attempt on their life, meaning that one happened every 2 speakers that you saw this very moment. 10 years ago, that was me, and 1 year ago, that was one of my siblings. And tomorrow, it will be the children of people in this room. Your vote on this bill determines if that 45 seconds becomes 30.
The Daily Wire's Michael Knowles responds to Sam Harris's statement that there is no scenario where you should be getting your opinions or anything else you might want to talk about from Candace Owens.
Who should not have an opinion on these topics. Like there's no...
Put a pause there. Sam Harris, best known for trying to convince edgy 13-year-olds not to believe in God. That's what he's known for. He's known as one of the 4 new atheists, which was this kind of contrived publishing movement in the mid-2000s. Sam Harris, who I don't mean to insult him or anything like that, but not the highest, finest intellectual in the world, okay? He was a sort of a publishing thing, and he had this really silly idea, and it's probably the single dumbest idea anybody can have in the world, which is that God does not exist. And he has the audacity to tell people that they should not have an opinion. Sam Harris, the great liberal, we hear it all out, we're pro-free speech, says certain people shouldn't have an opinion. Who are those people?
There is no scenario in which you should be getting your opinion about vaccine safety or climate change or the war in Ukraine or anything else that we might want to talk about from Candace Owens, right? It's just she's not a relevant expert on any of those topics. And what's more, she doesn't seem to care.
A girl deceived into believing she's woke, stuck in her dumpster fire teenage phase, that I know everything and you don't mentality, with zero self-awareness of how obnoxious she acts and sounds. Well, she asked Alan West if he identifies as black. Let's watch his calm, measured response to such a ridiculous question and to such a rude person.
Do you identify as black? No, it's a serious question because you might not identify. Can you please put the mic? Thank you. Okay.
When I walked into the room,
I'm not done with my question.
Young lady.
I'm just asking you to listen to me.
And I'm about to answer your first question.
But I didn't finish my question.
Okay. Yeah, I'm black.
Less than 9% of the people in this room are black. and we're all not here for you. Do you think there are racial inequalities in America? And how do you feel about Trump increasing both economic inequality and discrimination for people of color and LGBTQ people? What about violence against marginalized people in the United States? Can you talk about that?
Well, the subject was about, national security and foreign policy. But I will tell you that I think in the minority community and the black community, I think they're pretty happy that unemployment isn't at an all-time low in the United States of America for Hispanic and black communities, and that's the truth. As a matter of fact, overall unemployment is an all-time low. So if you want to break the pay gap or racial inequality gap, the most important thing is my parents taught me, who were black, born and raised down south, was about equality of opportunity and not equality of outcome.
Now, before you leave, this Saturday, March 18th at 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, which is 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Central time, I'll be speaking at the True Earth Equinox Summit. This 2-day virtual summit features a lot of great speakers and performers, and the aim is to connect, grow, and make a difference. When you get your tickets, you can choose which speaker the ticket supports when you check out. I'll leave the link with all the details in the description under this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you in the next video.